Ay, ay, ay.
Alicia, get off my back. Alicia.
Kenya, and now they're all over the internet playing victim. Guys, if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. My name is G, and let's get into my notes on Passport Bros. I didn't make any commentary when I first heard about the controversy around a passport bro called Jay Rilla. And he was all over social media calling Kenyan women unattractive. And he himself looking like he looks. And so I saw that and I was like, I don't want to get into it. Okay. But now he got kicked out of Kenya. He tried to film a Kenyan woman with him without her consent.
She's funny. I gotta like her and subscribe because she made me laugh. Listen, I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna say this, right? And I've said this 100 times. Right? I personally like light-skinned, thick women. That's my preference. Like I like women that are red bone. I like them thick. I like voluptuous. Right? That's just me. Right? Everyone has a preference. Right? Everyone has a preference. Right? Me personally, right? I'm not really into weaves and tracks and sew-ins and all the extra stuff, right? Braids is probably the max I'll go, but I'm not really into a bunch of fake hair. I like to rub my hands through your hair and feel your scalp, right? So I'm just being honest. Like I'm not by nature, right? And I'm not saying Latinos and Asians and Europeans don't wear extensions and tracks and stuff along those lines. But I'm not by nature naturally attracted to a lot of African women, right? I'm just being honest. Are there some that I find attractive? Yes. Right? Are there some that I could probably give a pass to because they're beautiful, right? You have a great body and a personality and a conversation? Yes. But if I was to pick, right, women out of a lineup, right, I'm just being honest, I naturally wouldn't pick anyone that's darker than me. And I said that to say that people can have preferences, right? People can have preferences, right? But you also have to look at like, right, who are you to call someone ugly? Like, who are you to call someone unattractive? Who are you to call someone this or that, right? So, you know, let's continue.
And so apparently he's gotten kicked out of Kenya, and now all the passport bros are like, yeah, y'all need to leave. They're banning passport bros from Kenya. So someone forwarded me a video of a guy named Austin who.
Damn it. What's up, Mom?
Apparently has been in Kenya for about a year and ultimately is also being banned from Kenya as well. And so at first I was like, is this for the plot? Like I saw the video of the group of Kenyans who were basically, it looked like it was like 7 people standing in, some kind of field talking about you gotta get rid of passport bros. And I was like, that's not a movement. 7 people yelling at a camera. But
I like her, man. I like her.
But ultimately, they're saying they're getting banned. So after I watched this video of Austin giving his spiel about like his involvement, his investment in Kenya, I started going down, this rabbit hole. And there's a couple other guys who apparently have been doing work in Kenya who are getting kicked out as well. However, they started out as passport bros and they moved to Kenya as passport bros, making content about passport broing, okay, and building a following of men on the idea that come to Kenya. It's easier here for men with a little coin. And so they are in Kenya, and the reason they came to Kenya and the reason they ended up staying in Kenya was because they were passport bros, because they were building a following of men to come to a country to where women are already heavily exploited.
Listen, we gotta call a spade a spade. We gotta keep things neutral. The truth can never be considered disrespect. She has a point, right? There are people that go to countries and kind of exploit poverty. There are people that go to countries and exploit these dire and harsh conditions. There are people that go to these countries and stay there because it's cheap, right? It's in their budget, right? Their money goes a long way. And they respectfully aren't taking the time out of their day to video, film, document, vlog about women and dating, this, that, and the third. I mean, if we're being honest, right? People that go to a country and talk about how easy the women are, right, in one particular country, right, are kind of exploiting them, right? And if we're being honest, right, like, listen, I just don't go to one country a year, right? That ain't my style, right? There's too many countries in the world. But she kind of has a point, right? She kind of like go to Dubai and do that. Go to Dubai and say how easy it is. Go to Qatar and say how easy it is. Go to I won't say Bahrain, but go to Singapore. Go to NYC. Like, a lot of the community, right, is exploiting women, right? And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but just because I'm from this particular country, does that mean I can't go to Kenya or Ethiopia or Tanzania or Rwanda or Ghana or South Africa or Egypt or Zanzibar, right? It's nothing wrong with going to these countries, right? You like what you like, right? I have a preference, you have a preference. Everyone knows I love a bit. And if it's there, I can give a pass to everything else. But there is a level of exploitation that's going on where men are going to these countries and it's almost like they're selling. It's almost like it's a mail order bride stuff where it's like come here and find someone because they're easy. But let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. And this is not particular focused on Kenya or this country or this city or this state or this province or this continent, but women that are in poverty, right? Women that are in poverty. A lot of them, and I'm not saying any particular country, but a lot of women in poverty are looking for a way out, right? A lot of women, and I've met women in poverty. I've met women that stay with three or four family members, right? And in some cultures, right? And if we're being honest, my ex, right? African queen from Uganda, it was their culture, right? You're not supposed to leave the house until you're married, even though she did, but it was her culture. Like she said, hey, uh, kids are supposed to stay with their parents or their mother until she finds a husband, right? And there's a lot of cultures like that, right? So women that are brought up in this culture, right? And I'm not saying Kenya's like that. I'm not saying it isn't. I don't know. But women that are brought up in this culture are, I can't leave the house until I'm married. And they start to get 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 years old, 30, 31, and they're staying with mother. Right? They got to clean the house. They wake up to their mom every day. They go to sleep. Last face they see is their mothers. A lot of women that are in these situations that aren't the situations that they prefer to be in are looking for a way out. But we can't exploit, we can't take advantage of someone in these particular situations. But she's funny, man. I like her.
Heavily exploited and not protected. So when I'm looking at this content of these men talking about their now victimhood of being kicked out of the country, well, when were they trying to protect these women?
Mm.
They didn't try to protect these women from men en masse. One, we know in the United States, Black American women are assaulted more often by intimate partner violence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more often that these intimate partners are Black men.
I was assaulted by Vanessa, and she's European. Like she's from Portugal, and she lives in the Netherlands. So I don't want to put that on me and or black men, but you know, I understand. I see where she's going. I see where she's going.
These Black men who are scorned and want to go somewhere where it might be easier to exploit women and go to a place like Kenya, where women, the femicide rates in Kenya aren't even tracked. There are no protections for women in Kenya. So even the government throwing out these Black American men, it's kind of like, because they want to be able to exploit their own women themselves. Because Kenyan women have some similar problems as Black American women, where in America, 1 in 4 girls are sexually assaulted by someone in their family before the age of 18. In Kenya, the number is 1 in 3. Basically, these men preached and sold a story to other men to come to a country where women are more easily exploited. I have not seen any of these men take responsibility for those messages.
Listen, if we're being honest, and as I've said previously, we can use the word exploitation, right? It sounds good. It's going to get clicks. It's going to get views. It's harsh. It's tense. It's emotional. But I'm going to the DR, right? I was married to a Dominican for 5 years, right? I forgot how long we were married because I was acting single the whole time. But she told me a couple months ago, last year or so, whatever. Just because Americans are quote unquote on this status or this pedestal, we have this particular blue passport, does not make us any greater or superior to anyone else. Let me repeat that again. Just because we have this blue passport does not make us superior. It doesn't. And a lot of people in this particular movement feel as though they're superior to the next. And I've had women tell me stuff. Oh, you think you're this because you're American. Oh, you think you're this. You think you're this. You think you're that because you're American. Oh, these American guys. And I didn't even tell her I was from America. A lot of women have this mentality that we think we're superior to them, and we're not. And a lot of men go to these countries with this superior attitude, like they're the king, the emperor, and they're not. All you are is a person who had an opportunity that she likely didn't have, and you're taking advantage of it. All I am is a person who got an opportunity to travel. But a lot of people don't, and I'm taking advantage of it. But in that quest of taking advantage of opportunities, we must be humble and respect people that we come in contact with. Because I'm going to tell you something, right? A lot of the fights that I've seen overseas in Thailand and various countries, it's Americans, Europeans, right? A lot of people go overseas with this I'm big and I'm bad and I'm tough and I'm this. And you can't touch me. Guess what? They get beat. You know how many fights I've seen in Thailand? Well, listen, listen. In Thailand, you're not getting no fair fight. It's impossible. If you think you're going to Thailand and you're going to get a fair fight, it's impossible. I've seen probably 30 to 40 different fights in Thailand. I've probably seen 20 some online, and I've probably seen 6 or 7 in real life, face to face, walking down Walking Street. Various streets in Thailand were drunk tourists or picking fights. They're talking trash, right? You know what Muay Thai is? Guess what the Thai and Muay Thai came from? Thailand, right? A lot of people get to these countries and they forget where where some of these martial arts came from, where some of these combat sports came from, where some of these fighting techniques came from, and no one is giving anyone a fair fight time. No one is giving anyone a fair fight anywhere, but especially in Thailand. So I have witnessed like a lot of guys coming overseas with a superiority complex.
I have not seen any of these men say, you know what, we have not paid attention to the type of company or following that we have been building in regards to women. I have not seen anybody make a commentary about how these messages do not protect black women. They don't protect black women in America. They don't protect black women on the continent. These ideas that traditional wives, and you know what you mean when you say traditional wife, these men, and this is the thing. This is the thing that I find frustrating. And this has nothing to do with just black men, but men in general do not vet their associates. They will give information and say, you know what, come here, we're living good. The women are this, our money is stretching longer. We can have multiple women and all of these things, and the women don't care as long as we pay the bill. Like, honestly, when we are realistic, if men were realistic about men, they would take responsibility for what their messaging and the cult followings that they build around those messaging really means for the women in any place. It doesn't even have to be Africa. It just has to be a place where women are financially and physically vulnerable. And that is what they were teaching these men. And that's why passport bros became so popular, because it wasn't to really go and meet a woman to marry and take care of and be able to have a family and blah, blah, blah. Maybe they'll get there one day, but that is not the messaging that passport bros have been preaching. We all know that it's just been basically like sex tourism.
She's funny. I like her, and I don't. There's not a lot of people that talk about that talk bad about passport roles that I like, but I like her. Is there that in the community? Yes, right. If you follow some of these guys that are passport bros, so they say, quote unquote, and you've been following them for years or months or however long they've been on these particular platforms, right? And I'm not hating on it. I can't confirm or deny I've done it, right? I can't confirm or deny that I have done it, right? But if you follow a lot of these guys, you gotta ask yourself a question: how come none of them have been in relationships? If they live in these particular countries, right, for months and years on end, how come they are in relationships? How come there's always different women in these videos? And they're out at night, and they're talking to different women and getting numbers and going on dates. How come they're not in relationships? You can say, "Hey, Christy, fine, you're a hypocrite." No, not really, because 2 years ago I was in a relationship. Then a year earlier I was in another relationship with the African Queen. So these aren't secrets. These aren't myths. These aren't fairy tales. I am living what I preach. I was in a relationship 2 years ago. Things went south. This psychopath hit me, scratched me up. I'm bleeding. My shirt ripped, blood on the floor. right, right now, I'm at a point where it's like I just need some time to myself. So in the past 5 years, I have been in two relationships. One, Vanessa's crazy self, and two, African Queen. But back to the point, she might have something going. She might be right, because if you're traveling a lot, you haven't met anyone that you like. If you're traveling a lot, you haven't met anyone you was interested in, you wanted to see a future with, you wanted to continue to talk to. Listen, I'm not hating on it. I'm not mad at it. I don't, you do what you want to do in your time, right? I don't care what anyone does on their vacation. It has nothing to do with me, right? But if you start following and paying attention to a lot of these guys that's traveling, years and years and years, right? The past 5 years, you've never been in a relationship. With all these women in the world, all these women in the country, in the city that you stay in, you've never found anyone to be in a relationship with. All the women are a problem. Let's be honest. A lot of guys are going overseas and they're chasing this passport girl lifestyle, but it's not really what they're looking for. Because the foundation of the passport girl lifestyle is to go overseas and find a wife. Listen, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't pay for this, you shouldn't pay for that. And I can't confirm whether or not whether I've done it or not. But people, if you go to these channels, right, people that have years of traveling experience or years of living in countries and they haven't been in a relationship in 5 years, you know, the red flag, the suspicion, the yellow light. You start to be curious, like, is it really the women or is it really you, or are you really searching for someone to be in a relationship with? Or do you have motives, or are you just out for, I don't know.
Long-term sex tourism. And I haven't seen any of these men take responsibility for those messages, for the types of men like Jay Rella that would show up in countries to abuse women. You cannot build a church and not have responsibility for your disciples.
Listen, I don't talk about other men on my channel. It ain't really my thing, but you know, I'm not really into. I don't support men that hit women. Like it's you know. And if you look at TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, right, there's a lot of men out there putting their hands on women. Like it's a video out there. I think it was in Sasua, maybe not. I don't remember, but it was in Dominican Republic. Where it was like 3 or 4 guys in a room, and they're arguing with this lady over the price, right? Over how much she should get paid, and they kicked her out, and he put her hands on her. I don't know if he shoved her or what he did, but he definitely put his hands on her, right? And someone told me this, right? And I'm gonna say two things. Someone told me this a long time ago. They said, "Hey, if you go to a country and you do this, you do that. You're there by yourself. You there with your friends. She got family. She got friends. Like they could do this and they could do that." And I always stuck in my mind, right? But take something into consideration. A lot of people look for easy, vulnerable opportunities, right? Easy, vulnerable opportunities. How many men do you see putting hands on other men overseas? Zero. And I've had people tell me some crazy stuff online and stuff that I'm not even worried about, right? Right? Because I be posting where I'm at, right? I just don't. I'm not you can't Twitter finger me, right? Like I'm not, you, you can't bully me, right? And I've had some people, respectfully, I've had some people say some crazy things to me, right? Which I don't mind, right? I know, and they know that they're not going to put their hands on me, right? And as long as we both know that, like, I'm not really worried about what people say online, right? But I said that to say that there's a lot of men hitting women online, but there's not a lot of men hitting me. Think about that. A lot of men that hit women hardly don't go around hitting me. But I said that to say, um, you ever seen Locked Up Abroad, right? You ever seen these television shows where people are inside of foreign jails and foreign prisons? It's not like five-star hotels, right? So, and if there's one thing I would not want to happen is I would not want to get banned from a country, especially a country that there's a great possibility that I want to go back to. And I like Kenya, right? And I'm not going to say Kenya is my favorite country in Africa. I mean, it's not. I'm not going to lie. right? South Africa is my favorite country in Africa, right? I like Ghana's cool. Like I think Rwandan women are beautiful, but I do genuinely like Kenya. I've had some experiences in Kenya, some good, some bad, but we have to take accountability. We have to take accountability.
So when I went through some more videos, I kept waiting to see what are they going to talk about. Maybe I should have been more conscious in understanding what these messages mean, because they don't ever want to say men are doing anything, that men are a problem, and that they are part of that problem because they are not take responsibility and accountability for how other men might be. And they know how men are. We all see the statistics and the abuse of women worldwide. But it's particular because Black women are unprotected, are the least protected women, no matter where we are in the world. So if Black men are taking responsibility and they are saying we want to go to other countries and have traditional relationships, but they also want to be able to make money off of that idea, and they want to be able to build a following, so once they build that following, they can pivot into something else. You still built a church. Whether you're going to let it crumble and not try and teach your disciples something different is also your problem. You have to take responsibility for that. And Black American men, the commentary and what's frustrating is that instead of taking responsibility and accountability for the churches that they've been building, they instead start saying, well, look what the white men do. I saw so many examples of them coming back and saying, well, now, come on now. There have been British people coming in there exploiting the women. There have been Chinese people coming in there exploiting the women. It makes it sound like, why are you picking on us? It's what we do. Why us? They're still not protecting Black women. That is not protection. It tries to put them in the victim narrative over the women who have been victimized.
You know, I've said this before in a previous video, but African Queen, her sister, right? She only dates these kind of men. Right? African Queen's sister only dated these kind of men, right? We were cool. We used to always hang out together. She's like, "Hey, Christy Fly, you got any friends that I can date? You got any friends that's looking?" Coincidentally enough, she married a Ugandan guy. That's another story. But in the like 2 years or so, year and a half, that her and her sister and I were dating, or her sister and I were dating. The three of us hung out. We went to clubs. We had a good time. We did water parks, all sorts of stuff. Um, but she was into. And if we're being honest, right? I can't generalize like just one person loves to say. Uh, but I've met a lot of women, a lot of African women that prefer dating. If we're being honest, I've met a lot of them that prefer dating because those a lot of those guys aren't putting them through what we're putting them through. Like, let's be honest. Let's look at the comments, right? Let's look at the comments. I'm not watching this whole video. I thought I liked it. It was cute. So I just run into this car gang mess. You just putting money in her pocket. Just bug her. She's lying. Kenyan, it sounds like a bitter woman to me. Just I'm not reading all that. Stop posting loud. Also, was not kicked out of Kenyan. Yeah, not kicked out of Kenyan. Talking about different jail is only Kenyan. You got it right. You said you were. Go to him and stop my. I've lived in Kenya for more than 2 years, and I'm sure where you'll get. I'm not sure. Women and the police actually abuse these men. Although I think it's very weird, a lot of misinformation, and some of the police country beforehand. But now, man, you made your content. No protection of women in Kenya. House slaves are up. Wow. He didn't have any immigration status, but passport, law, and cannot has not been anyone coming. Got a point. Got a point. You can't. they're not. No one's first name is Passport and last name is Bro. So technically, you know, you got a point. I mean, you got a point. You got a point. You got a point. You don't come to immigration and say, "Yeah, you're a passport, bro." Or you banned. Is your name passport, bro? You banned. So I mean, you got a point. You got a point. So let's see. Good commentary. Things speaking of. Oh no, extended session. Also, these guys are not involved in that role many occasions. She's fine. Have you personally been to Kenya? I'm not often commenting on Kenya video, not sure the public yelling this question. Nobody crying about Pastor Grove live. She's funny, but listen, we have to take accountability, right? We have. That's all I'm gonna say. We have to take accountability, right? One, we have to take accountability, and two, if someone's been traveling a lot, years of traveling, they're a so-called passport bro. They're never in a relationship. Makes you wonder.